Hello everyone, welcome to Bootcamp. Today is Saturday, our Saturday session. Today we'll cover routes. Are we doing routes today?
Gee, yes, today we are going to cover routing. First, let's look at the theory. The theory is that we have to basically have different pages in a web application. Even in a mobile application, there are different pages that are connected to each other. And whenever I go to a website which doesn't control the flow of the web pages with the URLs, it becomes very difficult to navigate. And also to share where you are. For example, if you tell your friend, I'm watching this page, or watching this thing, how are you going to tell your friend? Basically, most of the time, what I do is copy the URL and send it to somebody. So therefore, a well-designed application by definition means that it has well-designed routes. The URLs, for example, if I am designing, let's say, a store. For example, let's say store.com, a webstore.com. A webstore.com should have /products, / the product ID or the product name when we go to that particular product page. So that if I want to share it, what I'll do is copy the URL and share it with anybody. But how do we do it in React? The good thing is that it is not part of the main library, but the good thing is right now all the different routing applications, routes which define libraries which were using it, have converged on a single one, which is coming out with the version 6 of that library. We are going to use that. Zeeshan, let's start making an application, and Adil, you are going to tell us about you are going to create a shoe store.
Yeah.
Using that. Let's see how far we can go today. At least, Adil, could you repeat that?
I said I picked out some good shoes.
Okay.
Okay, so first thing we need to see that Sarzia has created the whole list of classes, so you can articles and all the list of videos and articles required to learn React router and anything we have in Bootcamp. So you can go to Bootcamp page, get KhanaCloud/Bootcamp, GitHub on the GitHub, and you can find out React routers detail over here. We have one article, one video providing the details. So you can open this article. Oh, that's video. You can open this article. It's actually not an article. It's in a GitHub URL, which refers by the React router, the router we are using. On this page, it provides all the details, how you need to start, how you need to set up the React router, and how we are going to implement the routes and the component which link to it. So first of all, what we need to do is we need to add router into our application. What I did is I already created an application, React Router DOM, and I have already installed React Router into it, but I'll show you so that we know what it requires, because there is a catch in installing React Router. So we need to know that. So first of all, if you want to install the router, you have the link, and it will provide you in this page. You can see add React router into your website. This will give you the detail how you can add router directly as a URL like this, or you can add as an npm package. So for now, as we are using it with React, so what we need to do is we need to install history 5 and React router 6. Once you try to install React Router 6, it asks for the version, and we need to because version 6 is in the development mode, and many changes are coming in frequently. So it will ask you which version of what 6 you want to use. Let me. So npm install React Router DOM @6. As I'll it started installing, it didn't ask the. So installation is simple. I have already installed it, but whenever you are doing it for the first time, it will list out the version you want to install React Router version 6 beta or alpha or any other version. So whenever you hit this command, it will list out the versions of the React Router. You need to move down your keyboard arrow up and down, so and select the React Router with 6 beta. Once you install, you can verify this in package.json file, just to be sure, because you need to use beta 6. You will see React Router DOM version 6 beta in your package.json file. So as I have already installed both of them, history and the React Router, so I'll not go and try installation again, and we'll move directly to the implementation. So the first thing is, we have learned context API and the context
Zeeshan,
initial.
just a second before you get started, I'll just
Yes.
tell all the students that we are not going to cover the application we were doing, which was COVID-19 tracker app, because all the material is available and it is going to waste our very precious time. So therefore, and we have already given a link of a video which tells you how to build it. So we are not going to cover it in class, just in order to reduce the time, and basically so that we are going to use that to learn new things. That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because the main point we have already covered: how to call the API, how to use the Material UI component, so we can move forward and students can keep implementing that.
Yes, go
Okay,
ahead.
so to create an application that requires routing, requires multiple, an important thing is why we need that, because we are using client-side libraries React, which develop rich application, single page application. So we need, as we have discussed in the first or second class, that we need to move pages within a single page, and with that we need to also update the URL. That's why we need to use a router API. So at this moment, we what we need to do is, first we need to access or import the router, so that we can have router information available in all the components of our application. One important thing, as I was explaining, that we have discussed context API few classes back. That context API, what the purpose of that is, that you create a component and you provide it at the app level, and all the component inside that component has the access of those details. So as you can see here, which I'll will do browser router import from React Router DOM, and you can see here we are using router as a parent tag of all the elements. So in that way, information related to router, that you need to route, you need to apply links or navigation, all the things we will going to use will be available in all the components within the application. So let's start with it. Okay, that's the wrong application. Okay, so in our index page where we have an app, what I'll do is I'll import create router DOM, and wrap app around, wrap the router around the app component.
And we have to,
So
Zeeshan, only do this once.
yes,
We
we
do-
have to do this once because it's exactly the context API. It's a
Okay.
context provider. So once you
The concept
apply
is the
it,
same. The concept is the same.
yes, concept is the same. So inside, if we go inside the app component, now here we all the things we all the router or all the components we will be building will has the accessibility of routers things because router component is wrapped around the app component. So now we are in app component. What we need to do next is we need to build the routes. So first thing is we need to have multiple pages so that we can move around on different pages. So in this case, what this example is saying that we have a slash where we can show the home component, and we have a about page, about route, where we need to display the about component. So let me first create a two component, home.js and about.js. In both of them, what I'll do is I'll add the simple function. Okay, about, and I'll copy the same name it as home. So at this moment, we have a three component: app.js, app component, about component, and home component. The, the material we have covered up till now. If we want to display home component or about component, so what we'll have to do is we have to use it like this. There is no other option. But I want to make these component as a pages so I can move around different pages and based on the URL. Okay, let me start the application. Meanwhile, it's starting. Let me show you. So what we will do is in app component, we'll add a tag routes. In React Router 5, there was another component, another tag named switch. Now we are using routes. So those who don't know the previous versions or never use, don't worry about it. Those who are using previously should know that switch is being replaced with routes. And inside that, we need to use route tag component and provide the path. So it means if your browser URL is your main domain URL, so it will show this component. If the URL is /about, then it will show the about component. So at this moment there is no okay. That's our only option before the routes. So what I'm going to do is exactly what we have in our example here. Let me remove both of them. Routes. Inside this, I'll provide path slash element. In element, we'll create a component home. Okay. So now, as we are on the main domain on the slash, it's always called a slash of our application. So it is displaying home, the home component, and the home component says, let's say we say hello home. We have hello home. Now what I'll do is slash about. It will show you about. So we can apply different URLs, and based on that URL, a particular component will be displayed, as we have seen in this example. Now what we need to do is, uh, we have done this example, but we always need to provide the URL. Let's say I have another URL, contact us. So I need to type that URL over here. So the best thing or the right thing should be that we should have available the links in our application, and we click on that link, so our application redirect or navigate page based on those clicks. So how we can do that? We can use the link component of again React router. Let's say here is the welcome screen. What we can do, we have two options: either we create links here in app component, or we can go into home component. So I'll be creating here link to slash. There is no space between them. So we have two links, home and about. Let me just, now we are at the home. The welcome message is from the app component. This div which displays two link component is it on the app component, so it will always be there. And this portion, this routes portion, it replaces the component which are being displayed based on the routes. So we are seeing hello home. When I click, it will display hello home, and when I'll be click on about, you can see this is about URL, and it is changed the display. So home about. This is how we do based on the links. So we are importing links from the React router DOM, and it will display all the routes, whatever routes we are creating here. This route, just a moment. We can see a div in our app component, which inside which we have an h1, inside which we have div, and we have routes. So whatever component we are displaying based on routes will display here. This is the portion available for routes to display. That's why we are seeing this about component below the links. Okay, what's next?
Let's say if we want to show an error message.
Yes.
A page not found. What do we do?
Okay, so to display error message, basically routers and path works on a specific path. So if there is an slash URL, it will display home component. There is an about URL, it will display about component. But if I'll type anything, hello, it will display nothing. And we don't know if it's really an hello page or not. So what we need to do is we need to create another route path, and what we say static. That means anything reach to this route should be redirected, should be displayed this component. And what that component will be, what we'll do is we'll create a not found. Let me create a simple not found. We can create a separate file, but I'm creating directly here function. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll create so in case of home page, like slash URL, it will display home. In about case, it will display about. And if I'll type anything else, hello, it will say path not found. So it does not matter this route is at the top or at the bottom. What React Router does is it will find specific URL. If that URL exists in the list of routes, it will work that way. If this route does not exist, then it will lie on the static path, which will be not found. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to write, as we have discussed in our initial discussion, that we need to implement a shoe store application which requires a shopping cart. In case of that, what we have, yes.
Let's first. Are you going towards the parameters? Yes, go ahead. I think.
Yes.
I thought. Okay. Okay. Sorry.
Okay. So what we need to do is in case of like a shoe store or any application where we have a component or a category of element which displays different type of information. Let's say in a case of shoe store, we have different shoes. So if we have a shoe and there can be multiple type of shoes, image will be different, information will be different, but page can be same because we need to display all the shoes at the same style and with the same information. So what we can do is in such case, let's say, let me create a component product.js. For we created a component product, and in routes, what I'll do is first I'll copy paste the route because I don't like to write it again and again. Products, whenever you type the product URL, it will redirect you or navigate you to the product component. Okay, so we have about and we have product. It says hello product, but we do not have link. So let me add the link also for the product page, so we can use based on link instead of so home, about, and product. Now, in case of product, we have a similar information, similar style of page, but different products. So at one time, we will be displaying a shoe number one and shoe number two. Let's say we are showing the shoe for the Nike from the Nike, and then from the let's say any other brand. But the style of the page, structure, and the page will remain same. So what we'll have to do is we have to send the information something like this: products colon product ID. Now what this product ID is, each page is similar, but information should be always different. So what we need to do is we need to extract the information from the URL to display on the component that we are displaying some different component at this moment. So we need to load information different information at the based on information provided in URL. So we have we can provide, this is called a parameter. What we are doing is, in case of product case, I have provided colon and any name. It can be ABC. At this moment, I am providing product ID. And to extract that information inside the component, we have a hook provided by the React router, which is called use para. It returns the parameter. So what we can do is, as we know, we have created we have implemented the URL like this. So colon product ID, that means we will be receiving product ID here. Product ID. I'll name it as ABC. That means, so I'll be receiving ABC. Sounds good. Now what I'll do is for particular moment, what I'll do is I'll display product ID just to see what we have here. We have a problem here, but let's just home, about, product. So page not found. It says page not found because our link tries to redirect our product to slash products, but there is no slash product. There is a product slash some ID. So I'll type it to save A, product A. We'll display product A. In this case, ABC, display hello product ABC. So whatever I'm typing after the product, if you can see slash products slash ABC, whatever appears after this slash, it's in a parameter and it will available in here in product ID whenever you call the use param. So whatever the parameters you are providing in the URL will be available here. This process is because we need to use URL within the particular component. We need to display different type of information based on different type of input, but we need it based on simple REST URL, so that we don't need to provide like previously there was style ABC. This is called query parameter or something like that. We need plain REST URL. So that's why we need this process is available to us in React router. And what we can do is we can create a route like product slash product ID, and in that we can provide the component which is exactly the same. So now we have a product slash product ID and anything as a parameter, and we can use it in this way. Do you want to add something, or I should move forward
Yeah,
with this?
I think we will have to define it 2 or 3 different products just to show to students product A, product B, product C.
Yeah. So what we need to do is, because at this moment, whatever what is happening is, uh, whenever I click, that's because my URL is different. ABC, or when I say XYZ, display that particular product. So in such case, it always replaces our page. In case I'm going to the nested routes, do you want to add anything before that?
Go ahead.
Okay. So let's say we have a page which shows you home component, and then you click on the about component. So each page has a different information. At the home, you will display multiple information of your website. In about, you will display whatever information you have, and then you have a product page. In product page, you have a list of products, and whenever you click on a particular product, it appears a different product at the left side or at the right side. So let's say I have a list of product on the left side, and I want, whenever I click on that particular link, it display the product on the right side. So what I need to do is I need to implement that particular thing into my product page. So in my product page here, I have to display link. Display link of what? Display link of, let's say one of my product is mobile. Another product is laptop. Now, whenever I click the slash product, what I need to do is I need, because product will not work, it's in a path, but I need to type ABC. I'm on ABC page, and then it display mobile and laptop. So
I think we made this thing should be in a separate page. Otherwise, it's
yeah,
confusing.
what I'm trying to build, that first we need to have these um, links, but if I'll click that link, what it will do is it will create slash slash slash. That's why we need to implement it in a different way.
Hmm.
So if I'll try to implement that links in a particular product page, let's say I'm in app and I'm saying product slash product ID, and that product try to display multiple links of different products. So what I need to do it, I need to have a separate page which display the links, and in that link we should have the different component to display particular link.
We can shift the links to the home page just to show the students.
Yeah, okay, let me shift. Is that what you are saying, sir?
Yeah. Because students get confused because they are just starting to learn, so they'll get confused even for a small thing.
Okay, so in home, about product will not work definitely, product slash mobile and product slash laptop. So we can display different products based on this URL. Now what we need to do is we need to display information in a nested route, so that we can have a component which display information at the parent level and this shift the UI for particular product. So we can have, let's say we have a two section of a page. One displays the information that we have a lot of products, and when you click on a particular link, it display the uh, product, a specific product. So what we can do is we have this product page in the app component. What I'll do is, instead of having slash over here, I'll remove this. So now we have slash product page. In that product page, what we can do is we can say hello product ID. Let's say it's here. And inside that route, what I'll do is I'll create a nested route.
Nested route is just a route inside a route.
Yeah, nested route is exactly the route, but it will be it's the context of the nested route will be its parent route. So path, then I will have a product detail component. Don't have product details, so let's create it. Now, in this case, what we are trying to do is we are trying to display product page, and in product page we need a particular section that should be updated. Instead of whole product page being replaced, what we need to do is we need to keep the section of a product page as a constant, and we need to update the particular portion inside the product component. The previously without router, what we need to do is we have a component, we create a component inside another component, and we need to do this way. Here what we can do is we don't need to identify product detail inside the product component. We just create a nested route, and in the product detail page, what I'll do is I'll move the param, because we don't need parameter will not be available here. So product ID. Now what we need to do is we need to identify at what location in product page this child component should be displayed. So in our case, there is not much element over here. I'll display the HRs as a separator, and then I'll create a div component, and there is a specific specialized component provided by the React router which is named outlet. What outlet is a component So whenever you click or whenever you try to display the product component, it appears this component, this product component. And whenever you try to display specific path, product slash abc, product slash xyz, so we need to display product details in what particular portion of the page of a product. So we'll say all the component coming as a nested route should display here, so it replaces the outlet with the component we have. Okay, so product details. Still not available. FJS line 30. Okay. So home, about, when I click the product, it displays the product page. At this moment, we do not have any. So what we want is the particular portion of a product page stays the same, and we can click on the specific. We can display specific component inside product page. So this, in this case, what we are, uh, what we need to understand is our application will have a multiple pages, and in a particular page there will be also multiple links. So we need a less nested route, so that particular component that are inside the page should display within a particular location whichever we define in that component. So for that we created the nested route product, and it has a nested route. Whatever route we provide over here, it will appear in this way. And in product component, what we'll do is we'll create an outlet component and we'll display. So here in div, the product detail component will appear in place of this outlet component. And when this product detail component starts to appear, it will use the use param to access the product ID. Now here what we can do is we can use effect to fetch the data from the API for particular product ID, and then we will display that data inside this product detail component. You want to add something? I guess it's
I think
nested out.
you have covered more or less. What we'll do is let give the repository, but he can explain it through the tutorial as well.
Yes.
Adil, you are in a mood to help students revise the whole stuff?
Yeah, sure, sure. We can do the. Do you want to do the shoe app? We can do that. And
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and let's first, Zeeshan, finish this, and then we go with that.
Okay, so I guess there is we have covered the nested route. It's relative link, index route. Okay, so in some case, what we need to do is we might need to have a component. This is the parent component product. What we need to do is whenever we click on the product, we need to display something. Just a moment, let me show you. We are at the home page. When I click home, about, and when I click the product, it display hello product, and but there is nothing below beneath the HR, which we in case of mobile and laptop, it displays something. But when I create the direct slash product, it does not display anything. So what we need to do is we need to if we need to display something at the parent route, so what we can do, we can create another route inside the product route, and that route should be slash. That slash means we need to display whenever user click the slash route or types the URL domain slash products. So it's kind of homepage of a product. As you can see, it is not displaying anything because there is nothing. So what we can do is we can create another component, product home or product, anything we want to name it. And then what we'll do is copy the mm, okay, so product home is here. Home about product. So product home. Whenever we create slash product, so product page itself has a few component, and because it's a slash page, so instead of displaying a particular route which already has some product which needs to display some product, what we need to do is whenever we create a slash, we need to have some other product, some other component that will display initially, and when we go to the nested route, any other nested route, so it replaces that component. So that's how we need to implement our products. So for that, we create a slash. This slash is not the slash of a main domain URL. It's a slash inside the product. So this slash, it's a route, but for the product URL or the component of URL. So in case we go for the product, that means we are going for the product page, and it will display product home component based on this URL or route. And once we click mobile, so it says product slash mobile, it will replace that particular component. I guess that's more or less done.
Yeah, yes, we have more or less covered it. Adil,
Yes.
it is your turn. What you are going to do is give assignment number 3, project number 3, which all the students up till now they have done 2 projects. Number 1, the expense tracker app, which was project number 1. Then COVID-19 tracker app, which was project number 2. Now they are going to develop a shoe store, which is project number 3, using routes.
Okay.
I just need to. I forgot to explain navigation based on programmatically with the function. We need to.
Yes, yeah, that is very important.
That's very important. So we need to add that also. So in case at this moment, what we are doing is we are clicking on the link and it displays the particular page based on the link, because we have created that particular link. But sometime what we require is whenever I click a particular button, it calls the navigation and change the route based on programmatical change. Let's say if I click a button 1, so it will display go to the different page. If I click on some other button, so it go to some different page. So what we can do is in case of our let me just create a button here, just instead of going anywhere else. What I'll do is Mm, so we can do is what I'll do is I'll create a button, and in that button, on the click of that button, which requires function. Okay, so here what we need to do is we need to call a function called navigate. So access that function, what we can do is we can again use the hook, use navigate, and this navigate function is just as simple. What I'll do is I'll call navigate and pass the URL over here. So it says at this moment I'm trying to navigate to the about page, so I just need to pass the slash about. So whenever if I am on any other page, I'll click the button. This button will redirect to about page. So we can use this navigate functionality. So what we need to do is we need to access the use navigate a hook which is inside the React router. So when we call use navigate, it returns a object, navigate object, and as a function, and you can call that function and provide the URL, whatever URL you need to pass. Let's say if we had these products URL, so we can use like this product slash mobile or anything we can customize or provide the custom detail over here. But at this moment, I'm just using it.
The, the benefit of this is that you can then, from the data, basically navigate to anything dynamically.
Yeah, anything that because the links will always be stay somewhere, and that they will stay like static URLs. It's to access based on the functionality. What we can do is we can on the click of a particular function we can manipulate the data. We can check the functionality. Let's say you click your page is being displayed and you do not have a data, so you need to navigate to the not found page after realizing that you do not have data. So you will have to call the navigate function so that it can redirect to the navigate function URL. So this how it will work. It's simple. It does not have much of a problem in it. Now we can revise it or move to the
No, no. We are going to move to the our project, the third project. We are going to give you a form in tomorrow. Adil, why don't you make a form so that the students can submit the page, their app, and we will also give a due date later on.
We'll share the form after this class.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'm going to move it to my screen now.
Sure.
I created a story while we were doing the class, and I've installed the React router DOM version 6. So let's try to open the project folder. Choose the- Okay. So what we want to do in this project uh, is using the React router that we just studied in today's session. We want to have something where we can create like a navigation sort of thing where we can have a list of products. In this example, we're using shoes, and we want to be able to navigate to the different products using routers. So we want to have on our basic on our application, we'd like to have like a maybe an app bar with links to the different sections. So one link we could have is for like the homepage of the entire application. One link we can have is to our uh, products page or our shoes page, and then within it, once we have redirected to the shoes page, we would like to have a list of the different products that are available, and from there we would like to make each of them clickable. And as you click on the product, it would open its own page with its own URL. So that's our objective, and let's start with our code here. So keeping in mind our application, so we can build out some components initially. We would like to have, so we have our app.js. We can have a maybe a header section. We can have a, we can have a component for our product, and we could have a section for our product details. So we would have these three components. I think that's all we might need. We can add more as we need. Let's also let me launch this app as well. While this runs, let's clean this stuff up. Oh yeah, continue. Oh, here we go. So we have our feature.
Adil, you
So
are on laptop mic?
yeah, do you need better audio?
Yeah, I guess students are complaining.
Okay, no problem.
How's the sound now? Is better?
Yes, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, much better.
All right. So let's get rid of this warning here as well. Now, what we need is in our shoe store, we want to create those different routes. So we would like to create initially our routing section. So first, I'll just import. I don't need this either. I'll import from my. I need to get the browser route. I need to get the routes and I need to get route so I can use the routing. And all of this is from React router DOM. So I have that. And what we want to have is we want to be able to create the different links using the routes. So here in my main application, I'll just first put my header component. I'll import my header component. Here we can create the header component, which will I just needed to have maybe a nav bar, and this would have links to home and products. So this we can create maybe as a link to home and link to products. Okay, and we need to now import link as well. Can I do it here? Link is not defined. Sorry, it's link. Did I mess up here as well? App.js. Links. I don't think I need it here. So now I have a nav section. Can you see it? Use href may be used only in the context of a router component. What's wrong with this?
Zeeshan, your mic is shut down, muted.
Have you wrapped the router or the app.js app component?
Let's see. This I have to do routes.
Yeah, you have imported the browser router. So browser router should be wrapped at the global level.
Yeah, okay, so I should do this.
I mean the child component should be wrapped around inside the browser router.
Like this, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So now we have our nav. So in our header, we have a pipe character to separate the two. Okay, so we have link to home and products. Now what we want to do is start creating the different content. So let's start with doing. Let's start with creating a function for the products.js. Okay. Yes, and product details as well. So what we want to do now is to have in our product section, we want to have access from here. Let's also start creating our routes. And we'll have different routes within our route section. So we'll start with our route for the product. Let's see. Or we can start with the route for our homepage. So we'll have a route and we'll give it a path for the homepage. And this will have element equals to the home component. And we don't have a home component, so we'll create one.
Or
So we have our home page. Um, there we go. What else do we need in our routes? So that's our home page. That's our path to the home page. Then we need a route for our products. This will go to our products component. Where is this? Okay. There we go. And now we have our home page and our products page. The routes are created here. What we want to have now is to link them to our components. So we can go in our home page and we can create something. Products. We'll go to products. So in our products page, we want to have we want to return in our div. We can have our products and let's see. So now we have our products showing here. Now we want to have also our product details. So the product details would be the actual shoes that we have available. So we want to be able to show those. So for that, we want to show them individually inside of the products route. So we want to nest the routes here. Yeah. So here inside of the products route, we'll have another route here, which one we'll have for our home for our products. And for this, we can make this be, let's see. Can we take this to the products? Okay, and then another route, which will have path. So this path is going to be for our shoes. So we can use a product ID here for the path, which will be like home slash. So it'll be the slash product slash product ID on our path, and then the element will be the we'll call it product details. Product details. Something like this. So now we have product details not defined. We can import that. So now we have uh, we have our routes for home and products, and then we've created within the route we've created nested routes for the home for our products, and then for each product ID we'll have another route that we could be using. So
We are using product in both at the will it,
I'm sorry.
we have displayed product component at the either we don't need a slash route or either we use
We
a
can get
different
rid of
component.
this. Can we get rid of this?
I guess we need that because it displays. We can get rid of a slash URL.
We can get rid of this. Okay. So yeah, so we have the products. And while we're here, we can also create our not found route. So for all the paths that have the asterisk, basically it's like a wildcard character. So any path that doesn't match the ones that we have specified would be would be considered as a wildcard asterisk. And for this, we can have another element for, we can call it not found. And then we need to create that as well. So quickly we can create a not found address. And in here we can have another component, and this one will do page not found. Maybe in a page. So now we have that. So that's pretty much all of our routes are done. Let's make sure. If I go, but if I do something else, if I do Adil, so it'll say page not found. Okay. Now that we have our routes done, we can now focus on our component for products and product details. Okay, so I had created something, just some data here, which we can use in product details maybe. This is just some, it's just an object which contains some shoes, some data for shoes. So now what we want to do is have each of these products being visible in the product details section. Or actually, I haven't really made product details visible yet, have I?
We need to use the click action so we can
Yeah.
initially display, and then on the basis of that we can display
We
particular.
want to show it here, right? We want to show
Yes.
here. And for that, we use the outlet component.
Mm.
So outlet. There. So now that we have that done, we can check out in our product details function. Now we have our data as well. Now we want to return some data here, right? Can I just make sure? Is it working?
The product detail will only appear once we click the nested route. So we need
Yeah.
to first display products in the product page, and then on the particular click of particular product will display product detail page.
Yeah. So here we want to show the data, right?
we need to show display the list of sort of.
We need to show these data here. So to display this data, maybe we can do like a. I'll get rid of this for now. Let's do. We can do like a unordered list, and here we can use this object to iterate over, maybe map over the data. So we can do the object dot entries for this object shoes. Shoes. So object dot entries shoes, and then we'll map over this. Um, that. And then when we map over this, we want to get some data out of the shoes object. So if you look at the shoes object, we have a couple of things. We have a product ID of sorts, which is like a name of the product, kind of, or a description of the product. And then within it, we have another object which has the name and an image. So what we need is, from our map function, what we need to get is the product ID, which would be like this value here in our object, the first value. And then we also need to get the name and the image, which is also found inside of the object here. So we're going to map over the entire shoes object and get this data for each of those objects. And then once we have done that, this is a arrow function. So what we want to do here is we want to return something. We can return a list item because we've created an unordered list. And in the list item, what we want to do is we want to show the data in our object. So in our list item, we can have, we also want to tell the key, so which uniquely identifies each object here, which is the product ID, the one we've created here. So that's our product ID will be used as our key. And then within the list item, we can create the links. Let's not do that right now. Let's just get the name. Let's get the name. This is a name from the shoes object. And let's also get the image. So to get the image, we can use the image tag. And inside, we need to get the source of the image. So source, we have the URL in the image. If you look at the data, it's a URL, so we can use that for the image. And then we also need some alt text along when we use the image tag. And then inside of it, let's just use the name again. And I think that's all we need for the image. So that gives us the products. Okay, so we're getting some data, but the image isn't showing. Can I log it? Log it here.
What is the name of this property? IMG or what?
IMG, yeah.
And we have used the same name inside the tag. Okay.
Yep, same name. It's not working. Does that work? Okay, it'll be. Can I just copy this whole line from down here?
It will require the function also. Maybe we can inspect directly in the browser
Yeah.
because
You want to look at the elements? It's getting the source. Is it
can you
because
open
you want
can
me
you
to
open
open
the
the link?
URL?
Oh, I think it's because it's not the link to the image, it's linked to the page, maybe? Is that why?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so maybe we
Doesn't
can.
matter. Just go to the page. We can pick some image from this page and
Yeah, let me just open these three and
okay.
then get the link to the image. I thought I had gotten the link to the image. So copy image address. Image address. It's this one. Copy. Copy image address. There we go. Let's see now. There we go. So now we have some shoes. All
So
right.
now we have a list of shoes in our product page.
Yeah. So we have a list of shoes showing up in our product page. And we want to turn these into links, right?
Mhm.
So, and we want to link to our product details page. So what will happen is each of our products. So what we really want to happen is we want to be able to access our application product slash something like this. That's what we
Mhm.
want to be able to access.
Yes.
Right? But right now it's not working because right now
There's no URL. No such
there's
URL.
yeah. So and we want to be able to do it for each of these different products. So each product would have its own unique URL. So now the way we'll do it is using our product details component. Um, and we can do a so this whole list item, actually, this text inside of it, we would like to make it a link, and we want to link it to. So now here's the thing: we want to link it to our product. So the URL is going to be, because we're already in slash products. So slash products slash, and here we would want to have the product ID we're using. So that we're going to get the product ID like this. This way, do we need to have?
We can skip the slash product and no slash required, and we can yes.
Kind of like that, right?
Hmm.
This. Or so just like this, product ID,
Yes.
link to product ID, and then the link will contain all of this. So if you click either on the name or the image, it will take you to the product ID. What's this saying? Link is not defined. Okay, so now it's taking you to the to a page with the product ID. Um, so if you refresh it, it's the link is working, but the page hasn't been created yet, right?
Because we have removed the outlet previously.
Yeah. So now we go. Where do we want to do this outlet? The So question here: do we want to put the outlet here inside the products page, or would it be in our? Uh,
What we can do is, uh, if we create the one you were creating, the route path, the slash path you were creating, so
uh-huh.
we'll keep all these index in that route path.
Yep.
And
So you mean the one I was creating like this?
yeah, and we need to create another component.
For this one?
Yes, slash,
Oh, you
and
mean
maybe
so
we
we
call it product index or product home.
okay. We can call it product. Let's just make it index. Then we can make the product index component. So here we would have the outlet.
No, here we'll display indexes. What we can do is we can move all
Oh,
the uh, r- code related to
one,
the
this one,
yes, this one.
like that. So now we
And
have all of our indexes here.
we need to also move the object,
Which object?
the key value pair of
Oh,
the.
yeah. Okay, this object. Okay. Object index. Here, this one.
Yes. And now we can place the outlet in the product component.
Okay, so we don't really use the product details anymore, do we?
But actually, the product detail is the one which will displaying a specific detail of the product.
Yeah.
So we'll see
Okay. Yeah.
after the product index is not.
Product details hasn't been imported, or product index has
And
not been imported, right? Yeah. So we can just add product index. Link is not defined. There we go. So now we have, uh, we'll fix this later. So we have our products page, and on our products page, we have a list of the different shoes. And when you click on the shoe, it takes you to the URL for that shoe. So we can go back. If we go to Park Avenue, you'll see the Park Avenue, and there's Osborne, so you can see it. And the last now what we want to do is on the product details page, we want to show the information about that product. So here we want to use the. We don't need this anymore here, right?
Basically, we'll need that because we'll access the use param and fetch the particular ID, and then we can display particular object from.
Yeah, it's because we're not really using a API or using
At
context
this
API.
moment, we are doing it in live programming programs, so we
Yeah.
are keeping object at the two places. But
Yeah.
generally, we'll have to this object should be in, or at the one place, so that we can access from everywhere. So we
Normally
can.
we would create a context API in use state, right? Like we learned before.
At this moment, we are not focusing over it. Otherwise, we need to explain the context and everything again.
And we'll have too much time as well.
So we can only at this moment we'll only access the use param or hook. We'll have the parameter and we'll display that.
So we'll
Yeah,
call
that,
the product ID using the use param hook.
Not inside there.
What's that?
It's inside
Oh,
there.
it's inside def. Sorry. It's gonna be here. Okay. What is this? Use param is not defined.
Import.
There now. There we go. So now we have imported the. We've used the use params hook to get the product ID from our URL, right? And now what we want to do is we want to get the product out of this object. So we can create another object. We can call it product, and we can get it from our shoes object using the product ID. So that would give our now we have the data
Have you
related
used
to the product.
square bracket?
What's that?
Have you used double square bracket?
No, this is a square bracket. We don't need this.
Within the square bracket?
Like this, right? So now we have the product that we're getting from the whichever object we're clicking on. This value will be
You are.
used. Yeah, this value from the URL will be used to find the product from our objects. And now that we have this, we can say in our return, we can say to. Do we need to also get the image and the name, right?
As we have the same two properties, so we can just display them.
I don't need to call them. I don't need to assign it in anything. I can just display it.
Yes. Yes, you can assign.
Right.
Yes.
If I have to assign it, right? So I have to assign the name and the image, right? From product. Like this. And then now I can, all right, this should be actually not a square bracket or curly bracket. Now I can get the name. And I can get the, just make sure. Destructure property name of product as it is undefined.
Do we have name property in object?
Yes.
Do we at title we have name or title? It's name.
We have name. Yeah. So.
Okay, so
let's see.
in shoe we have array or square. We have an
Shoes. We have an object.
that's an object. We have a
So
key.
we have a key and then we have an object as a value.
It should work fine.
Yeah.
Have you provided the square bracket? Let's console the product and we'll see if what we have. We have to comment out the what you say.
It's still
So,
now it's a
so
problem. Line 26 looks like the issue. Name and image from product.
it's undefined. Basically, we are not getting the product properly, I guess. So we can comment it out also and see if, no, not the product. The yeah, we can yeah.
This
So we can
this one,
have
right? Undefined.
undefined. That means uh,
So
now
product
print
isn't working. Maybe I should get the product ID.
get the product ID and shoe console both product ID and shoe object both, so that we have
Choose
yeah. But we need to remove the curly braces, I guess.
for this one.
Hmm. And the product ID separately.
Product ID is undefined, but shoes object is fine.
I guess you have provided product ID in the curly braces in console. I guess Adil's videos hanged. Hello. Okay, so I guess either me or Adil uh, is hanged on video. Just a moment.
Hello, Zeeshan, are you there? I lost you for a second. I think
Okay.
my internet my internet went out for a minute. Okay, so we have the where is it? The product ID is coming now. So there it is. Now this should be working. Cannot destructure property name of product as it is undefined.
Can you scroll up in console
In
inside the
console,
console?
this one
Scroll up.
here. Yep,
Yes. More.
it's all the way up.
Okay. Uh, so basically, let's go back to the code. Scroll it down. Okay, so we use param. The product ID is the right property we are receiving from the AppJS.
Yes.
Okay, but we have not provided these curly bracket over here in
In
const.
this,
Yes, we need to provide curly bracket over here. Okay, now it should work. Still not.
still
Let's go back to the code again and
so
we'll see.
wait, let's try and comment this out here and let's see if
In the console log, it's as I cannot see clearly in console log. Have you provided the product ID directly or in some square bracket or curly bracket?
it's a curly bracket.
Remove it so we can see if we are receiving the product ID properly. Hmm.
Undefined.
Undefined. So we are not getting product ID. Let's check the app.js if we are sending the same property in product detail. Oh, it's capital ID.
Uh, which one am I? Product detail. The D is capital, huh?
Yes.
Capital D here and here. Now what is it? Line 25. Oh, this should be also capital.
Okay.
There it
Okay.
is. Yeah.
Okay. Now we can. Now we can display it.
Now we can do this. Make sure. We'll have to put it in curly brackets.
Hmm.
There it is. And then the image will have the source. And the source is our image. In the alt text, we were using the name. Now what happened? Oh, this is the same issue
Okay.
from before.
Then it will replace the object from the product page
Products.
index.
Here it is. The bad links from before, so we can get rid of them. Update the link to say this. The object is updated. Now we should get the image. There we go. So we have the products page, which lists, which has an index of all the different products in our object. So if this was an API call, we would get all the different products from the API, right? And then we could click on it, and it would give us the details for each product we wanted. Yeah, there we go.
Okay. So it's working.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah. Yes.
So is there anything else we needed to do? I think that's it. That's everything.
Yeah, that's it. I just need to answer two questions.
Yeah.
There was one that router, if whenever we are using context API with
Yeah.
the router API, so what will happen? Either we put router inside the context or context inside the router. That clearly depends on your logic, uh, as you will might need to use router inside the context. So what we'll do is you can create a router at the parent and use context inside it, or you can what you can do is you can create a context at the top level and router inside it, and you will not be using router inside the context, so there is no issue. So in case if whenever you are using multiple context, it depends on your requirement which context should be inside of another context. Second question was uh, how we can move values from one page to another page. So for that we learned about the context and use reducer. So you need to use combine context API and reducer to manage state management, so that you have a state at the global level, and then you can use that value. So whenever you have a particular page, you put the value in your state or in your context level, and then when you move around the page, so in that particular page you can access direct value directly from the context. uh, Last one is React is a single page application, but here we are creating multiple pages. So that's the important thing you everyone should know. In case of single page application, it means your page stays same, a single same HTML page, and you need to replace component within that particular HTML page. You need to do this all this effort by yourself if you don't use any particular API library like React or routers. So what you need to do is you need to display HTML page, and then you need to by using pure JavaScript you need to replace the component within that particular page. That's why it's single page application. To if you are creating a Facebook like application, then there will be a lot of components and page become complex, so you need particular proper page management. That's where React is, and it creates a separate component. So what you can do is by using React you can display different components in like they are pages, but actually they are component within a div within a single page. That's why it's called single page application. But you can replace the component, it will not replace the URL. That's why you need React router. So the what you whenever you click the link, it updates the component and it also updates the URL, so that you have a particular URL with the particular component. That's why we need to implement the component and router together to shift the pages and display based on URL. That was few questions that were important to answer. So now we can safely end.
All right. Thank you, Zeeshan. Good session today.
Okay.
I'll see you on
Okay.
Tuesday.
Okay,
Bye.
guys. Bye.